Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays Oxygen Not Included. Fresh off of reading the comments. Is that coal? That's coal. We can get there. It's gonna take a while. I have a to-do list in this episode. First off, I mean, the last episode is gonna irritate some people because I'm kind of trying to, like, retrofit this battery setup, and it's not getting the job done. What we need to do, and this was explained sometimes like I was 2 years old, but I didn't take offense because mentally sometimes I find myself in that headspace, but sometimes in no uncertain terms. Generators, heavy wires, transformers, little wires, and then subdivide the base into, you know, 3 or 4 different little neighborhoods and make sure that they're not connected so the grid doesn't get overloaded between them. So I think that that's on the to-do list. Certainly, I still want to do this because we're almost there anyway, and I think this could solve some power-related problems. But I think we have a few obvious things that we need to do in today's episode if we're going to try to salvage the colony. And I'll admit, I thought, it's a little messy. Maybe we should just restart. I'm trying to breed out a bad habit. Breed out almost never has positive connotations, but forgive me. I said something that, dare I say, motivated myself. In a recent NLSS, we were talking about Isaac. I said, sometimes you gotta hold on instead of holding R. I'm gonna try to fix our problems, and if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But I'm gonna do my darndest to give it every chance to. So what are we gonna do? Well, while keeping it paused here, we're gonna do some things that have been requested for quite some time. At a priority 9, we're going to deconstruct lights. We're going to deconstruct light, not wire, light to save power. It's been suggested, that one is just, I think, unnecessary down here. That was just for decor. It's been suggested that this is unnecessary for us to have this degree of planting. There's a hatch in here? What the heck? This degree of illumination, I should say, for plants. We're also going to disassemble, like, fully half of our batteries. And we're going to rework the wiring system completely. In the interim period, we also have some other things to do, by the way. I want to disassemble these beds and put them in a medical bay, because this is looking mighty silly. We have some oxygen-related issues. I'm not sure if you've noticed, like, particularly here, carbon dioxide in large concentrations is starting to make its way out of this area. Probably what we want to do is put a carbon skimmer there. We have a carbon skimmer here. Maybe that'll tackle it, but it's kind of looking annoying in the interim period. Let's just get this done first. The other thing is that we want to place our... Essentially, I want to store all slime right here. That way, apparently slime lung gets worse when you hang out in areas with polluted oxygen. So... Oh, we have 2,000 kilos of coal. That gives us a little bit of time to hopefully get things sorted here. So we want to refactor all of our storage compactors and only allow ones that are sealed off hermetically from the rest of the base to store slime. And hopefully that, combined with a real medical bay, will give us a chance to create an environment where our duplicants can be healthy. So, obviously, we are going to have to look at this. You know, there is a disconnect that happened because of the way that we did our power here. But, I believe the way that this should work is that generators hook up to batteries via... Now I have to think about it. Obviously, like, anything running from a generator should be a heavy wire. Especially if there's going to be 2 generators whose power is summed. And then going to the batteries, I still think should be heavy wires. Coming out of the batteries and going to the transformers should be heavy wires, but everything exiting the transformer should be a light wire. I believe. So we should be able to set that up essentially right away. But heavy wires can't go through floor, which is part of the problem here. Acceptable. I'm gonna take a Hail Mary approach. This is dicey. In fact, like, very risky, especially as immune systems are tanking, but deconstruct every battery. We're gonna do it from scratch. You don't need to deconstruct the ladder, necessarily, but yeah, deconstruct all the batteries. We're gonna roll, you know, sometimes you have an ice storm in the year 1998. You know what? The power, it goes out. You're unhappy. The heat stops working. People start to get a little sick, but we make it through as a society. Sure, maybe a few dozen people die. Can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs. And look, I'm being insensitive. I'm just saying. We'll roll a day or so without power. We're not doing so poorly in the oxygen camp. Mathis is he's gonna suffer a little bit. Hey, Mathis, you want to sleep in, like, this medical bed? For the time being? Wouldn't offend me. Okay, so we've basically done this. And I can't believe we've done this. We didn't issue a deconstruct order on this, or it's just taken a little while? Just taking a little while. Alright, now that that's done, and this is not going to be finished today, but I feel like what we want to do is, deconstruct. I know there's probably a certain element of, oh no baby, what is you doing right here? We don't need this much space for battery bays. We might want to have 6 batteries or something like that. We might want to have 10 batteries, but we don't need to have this much space, this many shelves essentially, in order to store our batteries on. So we're going to completely refactor our power area to try to make this better. And it's going to be a rough couple of days, I think. And I think that's fair to suggest. Okay, so now that we've done this, what are we going to do? Well, we need to rebuild the batteries. And we'll try to make a few here. Can a heavy wire go over a ladder? That's something we should ask ourselves right away. It appears not, huh? So what we'll do... And we could do this, admittedly, with a heavy watt joint plate instead. But I think we will deconstruct this ladder. And make sure this is under control. But deconstruct this ladder completely. And this will be where our wires come down. And again, gonna take a couple of days. I'm very happy that we're not super off with respect to our oxygen. I also recognize polluted oxygen is going to remain an enormous problem, especially as, you know, more than one of our units faces a pretty considerable immune system dip here. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a great kind of, like, finish for that. This is going to be where our heavy watt wires are going to come from the generator and work here, is the idea, at least. Okay, so next. We are going to need batteries. Are there heavy wire bridges? Yeah, we don't have a heavy wire bridge yet. So we can't build anything on, like, the other side of this yet. And it's going to come down through here. And we can have it come down with a normal bridge, and that's fine. So let's start with, we'll start with 6 batteries. To build 12 in the first place was probably extremely stupid. And we might as well, once these wires get destroyed here, we'll plan how we're going to get the heavy wires to actually make it where we want to go. I am concerned that this kind of Hail Mary we're pulling here is going to be the end of this colony. But I think if we don't do it something right now, it's going to be the end of the colony anyway. So I think it's better for us to try to refactor it than to just be like, we're going to coast as long as we can. You know, if the brakes fail, are you going to get them fixed or are you just going to drive your car until you die? Either way, it's going to be an unpleasant situation. Oh my god, the batteries take forever. Okay. And then the heavy watt wires. Again, these, as far as I'm concerned, deconstruct. Doesn't have to be priority 9. Don't deconstruct the generator, so I'll be cautious on that. Heavy watt wires are going to come out. I guess we do need to deconstruct this particular wire. But in the interim period, we're going to run heavy watt wires. That we should be able to build these here. We shouldn't build it like that. It's going to make it impossible for a bridge to get past. No, that's not true. We can build a bridge down in the other side. I see how we can do this. Okay. But I think this is probably the appropriate way to handle this. How are we going to bridge past it, though? The bridge? Like, transformer, bridge. Wire, 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 bridge. Wire, bridge. Bridge. It's going to be a little cumbersome. But in the interest of getting this done properly, this seems to be the right way to go. Even if it takes us 2 days. Even if Mathis's lungs are coated in slime by the end. If this is the price I have to pay in order to get this done, it's the price we have to pay in order to get this done. If a job's worth doing, it's usually worth doing right. How we doing in air? Could be better. Admittedly, man, that hydrogen's really pooling there. I think at like a priority like 6, if you can get this hydrogen to flow out of this room, that would be ideal for me. Thank you. I mean, who's sleeping here? Kate? Yeah, okay. Make that a priority 7. So 100% they're not going to finish this today. And I mean, I think we kind of expected that to begin with. But I think it's better to get it all done. It's like construction, you know? Sometimes you're going, you're driving down Robson Street and you go, hey, why is it 1 lane? I'd like it to be 2 lanes. Hey, you guys should go to bed. I'd really like this to be 2 lanes, and it's only 1 lane right now, and I can't get to where I need to go. But eventually, that will open up into a 2-lane road as a result of the construction, and then they'll do construction and make it a 3-lane road, and then 6 months later, they'll do construction. Now it's 2 lanes again. We don't understand what's going on, but in the end, you just trust the process and hope that it's leading to a better future. Maybe. So again, goals in this episode, if we just get the power set up and running, not even necessarily running ideally, but if we just get the power running in this episode, I'll be pretty happy. We also want to get this tertiary power operator going. We also want to sequester our slime so that Mathis doesn't die of slime lung. Sequester the slime sounds like an excellent phrase, by the way. Okay, so I didn't realize I hadn't priority 9 these. It is an extremely high priority, because we're still a couple of steps from the end of, being done with this power here. Can somebody just murder this hatch, please? Like, he's like a pet at this point. He's just hanging out down here. I'm happy he's here. As long as he doesn't attack us, I'm a happy camper. But, like, I gotta admit, this looks a lot cleaner. Sucks for our duplicants who have to hold their breath the entire time they're in here, but keep up the good work. You telling me you can't? No, you can. Okay. Again, in priority 9 these. The hatch die? Or did it just fall asleep? Anyway, this is all in the interest of breaking this bad habit Of just, as soon as things go a little bit wrong, you say, it's not even worth it. I'll just restart and learn from my mistakes. Learning from your mistakes is good. But I think it's also smart to build this, you know, the habit of seeing something through to completion. So these batteries are now being charged, presumably. Yep. Now, we want the grid to pay out into these two transformers. One transformer's here, and this is the input. And that's going to be a problem. You know what? We have so much more space now. We're going to do a couple of things. First off, this is going to be a deconstruction, and it's going to be a priority 9, because we can put it here instead, and that's going to be way better for us. But again, it's going to take a little time. And then might as well go power grid. How are we going to feed a heavy wire up there? Without a heavy wire bridge, which we at present do not have. Or do we? I know I asked that before. Functions as a regulator that allows heavy wire to be run through wall and floor tiles. Again, with the hitting O to try to rotate, or hitting R to try to rotate instead of O. 1 second. 1 second, 1 second. Rome wasn't built in a day. Obviously, it's priority 9. I think we also need to deconstruct this. I don't think it matters that we have a... Then it is a superlative painting, Nicholas. Don't get me wrong. You can use the one-tile gaps and ladders to make this happen, I think. Maybe we don't even need to disassemble the painting. And then we got to figure out how we're going to get this, because this is supposed to feed into the bottom part here. And this should be fine. If this doesn't work, to say that I'm upset would probably be a little bit of a stretch, but I would find it comical. It would be a comedy of errors from my personal standpoint. But either way, I have faith that this is the proper way for us to set up this grid. So even if we have royally screwed up and it's not going to work for this... I mean, why... There we go. Even if I've royally screwed up and this is not the way it's supposed to... It's not going to work for us on this mission. It's still going to be a good learning lesson for the future. I think, at least. So, alright, let's see. I'm sorry about this painting. I don't think it needs to go, but we're kind of already halfway done, so... and again, now we're generating power, which is important. There's actually, like... the batteries are going to be storing power. So as soon as we get our system online, at least half of our base should start having functional power. We really are bleeding carbon dioxide in here. We should move the carbon skimmer, but I don't think that that's going to happen today. Still doing fine on copper, mostly because we disassembled all of our earlier parts to make more here. So in theory, we should be fairly close to getting the first half, or the bottom half of our base powered. There's an electrolyzer down there, which is very good, because we're super low on oxygen. You don't need to put the coal there. You need to build... You need to build that wire generator. It is a priority 9. I got faith you're going to get it done. You're going to get it done. That's a priority 5, though. Did you at least get the airflow tile done while I was making mistakes? You did not. That's fine. That's fine. Don't even sweat it. We're so close. Just build this. You almost got it. 50 kilograms of copper ore. First half of our base sort of functioning here. Please. I'm begging you. The moment of truth rapidly approaches. Last one. Yep. Common mistake. I really didn't think. I always underestimate how long it's going to take to do things in this game. But, oh, the carbon skimmer's not running because it doesn't have any power. That's correct. I always underestimate the amount of time it's going to take to do things in this game. And I really didn't expect it was going to be like a half hour to get this done here. But look at that. Okay, we got power. In theory, yes, the bottom half of our base now is powered up. And immediately we have a circuit overload. Where? Which one? The wire bridge? Or is it the heavy watt wire underneath? I'm trying here. I'm making a song like... Well, that's confusing. I mean, I would love to say that hopefully this is just a happy or an unhappy accident, but I don't think that that's going to be the case. I just don't understand how you can be strained. Like, you're getting the exact amount of power you're able to hold. Unless the transformer's outputting, like, more than it should or something, but I don't think that that's the case. Anyway, it should take us, like, mere moments to get our next transformer set up and at least get our base back to hopefully being almost functional. So, unless you spent the whole episode operating under false pretenses, in which case I hope you found my stream of consciousness enjoyable, because it's going to be real frustrating for many of you to have watched. We can use normal wires and just do it like that. Gets it hooked up. Those were priority 9s. Yeah, sure. Okay, so at least we're gonna have power. I think it's in our wire bridge. Can the wire bridges not take as much? I mean, it is the bridges. We can build this without bridges. We could also maybe put, and I don't know if this is how electricity works, I'm just being sincere with you there. We could, are those prioritized? Yeah. We could, run a separate path. Like, hear me out here. If these are causing problems, can we just run wire like and put it back down there? Will that effectively have the wattage coming through? And again, I'm not an electrical engineer, so mostly I plug things into the wall and they work most of the time. I am happy the bottom half of our base appears to be working. That's a big positive. Now, please just... Oh, I really would have loved you to finish that transformer, but you know what? I can wait. I can wait a day. I can wait a day for this to be done. Properly might not be the right word at this time. But maybe. You're gonna be the one that saves me. Like, we need to... It seems like we need to divert power before the bridge, because it's causing issues. But it does look a lot more sensible than our earlier attempts at running power, I'll admit. Is it? I don't know yet, but it looks it. I also just realized that something we could do to help our water situation is just put a pump right here. If we just put a pitcher pump, they should be able to get bottles. They're still not doing anything with these bottles of urine, despite the fact that I have a... Do you have to set auto bottling off? Enable auto bottling. Yeah, that's the ticket. Hey, please finish building the thing that's going to allow us to breathe good air. Hey, thank you. Alright, so now I'm hoping maybe somehow this takes some of the power out of... You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's gonna work like that. Please repair this, and then we'll see if life is easier for us. We're wasting a lot of copper. Overload damage immediately. Okay, so as much as I would love to be done with this, I think we've got to try to find a way to make... By the way, I am actually an idiot. Why would I build through the already damaged tile? Or damaged wire. I genuinely have no idea if this can even work. But I think we're kind of at the point where you gotta see what you can do, right? So we're gonna priority 9 build some tiles. And then we have a decent amount of copper left. I'm just gonna try to create what in my head, because I'm making the analogy to traffic, is like a second... that's going to be an invalid building location, so... what in my head is like a second lane. I think we have to do it like this. Luckily, like, sandstone, buildings are really fast to build, so we can do something like that, and if they build down, they should be fine. And this is like, hey, if you're carpooling, you can come into this lane. And this allows us to bypass the wire bridges, but again, I don't know if that's going to strictly work. So, now, let's focus on some other things we got going on here. This thing should not store all. This thing should store only slime, which it already has about, 500 kilos of. And then at like priority 7, let's say, build another 2 of these, and they're gonna do the same thing. These are all only gonna hold slime. And then in here, no slime allowed. No slime. Luckily, not too many of these have slime in them to begin with. In fact, only one of them had any slime. So if we let that fall to the ground and then give like a priority 8 sweep, maybe a sweep there as well, this will be positive. Got quite a lot of polluted oxygen here. We're gonna try to clean up this air. Believe you me, I'm aware of the fact we appear to have an outrageous amount of coal. Or an outrageous amount of carbon dioxide here. We're probably going to need to figure out some kind of gas pumping situation to get that figured out. I'm also noticing, like, why are you never working? Because we've produced a lot less hydrogen because the power's been off, I think. Insufficient power. Generator idle. We're immediately out of power. That's alright, we have 1,500 kilos of coal. It's not a ton, but it's something. It's enough to power the base for a little bit longer. And we were generating enough oxygen today, which I think is a start. You know, I still believe that we're getting through this one way or the other. It's not going to be instantaneous, and many things worth doing never are, if I may use the most verbose and needlessly grandiose terminology possible. But with enough time, we might be making this happen. It is taking forever. I have noticed our duplicants appear to be getting like a lot less sick. Thank you. Yes, we do still need the base to be running, so I do appreciate dropping off that power, even though we're now much lighter on the coal front. And we need a priority 9 dig situation here so that you can actually get up and complete this. But the idea is that if you get this done before nighttime, perhaps, and we get a little bit more coal as well, but perhaps we'll see a situation in which there's less circuit damage. You're so close to just completing everything I've ever asked for here. And I really need to get this med bay done, because my boy Mathis is getting below 50% immune system. You're so close to greatness. Just finish this. You have the copper. Just take the copper and create the final wire. Okay. The idea is perhaps by diverting some of the power, it does appear to be strained. And there's still circuits being overloaded down here. If it solves this problem, which I'm skeptical it will, if I'm being honest. If it solves this problem, couldn't we apply the same logic down here, essentially? And, I mean, more or less, I just kind of want to scrap, not the heavy watt wire, but there's a wire bridge behind it, isn't there? Like, that's what's getting destroyed. Wow, it's very toxic there? Alright, well, we obviously need to handle that. So if you don't mind, if you could build a, like a priority 9 deodorizer. And, I mean, even like 2 of them might be worthwhile. And this thing, it doesn't appear to be getting more messed up. So I'm happy with that. Alright, I think that's probably where we're going to end today's episode. I think we made some changes that were relatively important. We got a lot of... One second. Ladder, wire bridge, in use. What if we just scrap it? We should cancel that. I only want to destroy the wire bridge. We'll just put that there for now and see how this goes. They're all still connected. It's just I've built this in such a strange way. Like, you're still all connected, you're just disconnected up here. Yeah, which is what we want. Okay, that's gonna do it for this episode. I think we've made the right decisions. I think we've done a better job of making sure that our power is handled here. And next episode, we'll start solving the other problems, like our medbay and Manthus being quite ill and sequestering the slime and etc, etc. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.